We're over the first hurdle. Oh my gosh. So I wanted to give you all a follow up as to where we are right now. As you can see from the thumbnail, we're making some progress. I am no longer, as you can see around me, I am no longer in a cocoon. In fact, let me see if I can show you. See if I can show you. Check that out. Look at this. This place is empty. Those are suitcases because we decided that we would go ahead and ship our things and not try and leave the same day that we were shipping things out. My husband wanted to do that, and I thank God I convinced him that that's probably not the best thing to do. Whew. So we let me start from the beginning. I don't even know at this point where the beginning is, truth be told. Where do I begin? Okay, so as you know, we decided to get a container, a shipping container, to send our household goods to Jamaica for our property that we will be, our household will be building when we get to the island. We purchased land. I have a couple of videos talking about those other experiences. Please go back and watch those. Give them a thumbs up and share them. Okay, so we ended up going with a shipper. iContainer is the shipper that we went with. I called numerous shippers. To my utter surprise, it was I was surprised at how many of them didn't do residential shipping, even though we were told by others, oh, you know, try this company or try that company. What's the company that I heard all the time? Oh, Amerijet. Amerijet, the name tells you, is not they don't ship containers. Now, if you have barrels that you want to send to Jamaica, you can do that using Amerijet because they will bring it into Jamaica via air. But I've heard repeatedly, Amerijet, they're really good, and you can ship a container through them. And obviously, people mean well, but obviously, those who were making that suggestion, as well as some other companies, they haven't actually shipped a container. They're just going by what they've heard or what they have assumed. What they assume is accurate information. Amerijet does not ship containers to Jamaica or anywhere because Amerijet is an airplane. I contacted them on a couple of occasions. They referred me to, I can't even think if I can't think of the name of the company that they initially referred me to, actually twice. That's their go-to place that they will send someone to who's trying to ship a container anywhere. That company does not do residential, so there's a miscommunication between Amerijet and the company that they are recommending for shippers. Don't go that route. I call too many places to even, you know, and go into, I can't think of off the top of my head and what the stress level that I'm at, all of the names of the places. I did Davis, I think they're definitely in Florida, South Florida. OML, and OML seems to be a recommendation that Jamaica Customs recommends, a company that Jamaica Customs recommends. I did contact them. She was very friendly, very informative, but kind of after the initial contact with the lady that I spoke with, it was just hard to get a hold of her. Just wasn't, it ended up not working out for us. But they do seem like they're pretty good. So what we planned on doing was gathering our things, um, driving to South Florida. As you know, I am in Chicago, and then loading a container from South Florida. Well, unless you are a professional driver, driving across country um, with anything, particularly a truck full of household goods and lugging a car along, it's just probably not the best idea. Um, so we ended up opting out of that when I spoke with the company that I ended up going with, iContainer, as well as OLL or OML, I forgot the name. At any rate, they said, hey, look, don't worry about that. We can actually do door to door. We can come to you. We were like, oh, cool, wonderful. Well, the pandemic has caused major issues with respect to shipping, with respect to containers, with respect to drivers. Uh, mm, this was just crazy, and my brain is fried right now. It is difficult for me to even tell you what all we went through. So one of the issues that we ended up having, sorry, one of the issues that we ended up having is that the young lady in operations that I was dealing with, after we set up everything through their sales department or whatever, she would contact me and say, hey, we initially told her we wanted a container here on the 29th. We're talking the end of June. She was like, no problem. So, and then all of a sudden, after quite a while, her being a little bit uncommunicative herself, she said, oh, okay, in order to make such and such vessel, we would need to have a truck to you by the 25th. Is that okay? And I'm like, no, that's 4 days sooner than we were expecting. And we hadn't gathered everything that we wanted to ship to Jamaica. Again, we're not realizing the issue that is ahead of us anyway. So she's like, okay, fine, I'll see if I can get a truck there the 28th, the 29th, or the 30th. We're like, all right, cool. If you can do one of those days, we can work with you. Now, mind you, by this time, we have flights to Jamaica. We have flights to Florida. And we're going to see some folks in Florida and then go head off to Jamaica. We ended up having to cancel those flights because the 25th came, of course, no truck came here, even though we told her no. As it turns out, when she was saying, hey, in order for you to make this vessel, I would need a truck there by the 25th, she didn't actually have a truck. She was just telling us that's when she would need a truck there. And then when she came to us and said, she called me and said, hey, if in order to make the next vessel, I would need a truck. I can get a truck to you on the 29th. And we're like, okay, cool. Well, then at the very last minute, she's like, sorry, I couldn't get a truck to you. I'm like, look, you have to let us know way before the day before. We have flights. So now we have to turn around and cancel those flights. Then she says, okay, we're going to get a truck to you on July 8th. And is that okay? Again, she didn't have a truck lined up. She hadn't made any kind of real reservation. She just was saying, is that okay? And each time we would say yes, she was like, cool, all right. So we're thinking it's all done, we're all booked, we're all set. No, wrong, not the case. So we're thinking we're set. I'm reaching out to her, I'm calling, I'm emailing, so forth and so on. And then at the last minute, oops, sorry, no, we can't get a truck to you on July 8th. I'm like, lady, oh my God, tell me when the next availability is for any trucker. She said, well, everything's really busy right now because of the pandemic. And I said, okay. She said, they're all seem to be booked through July. I'm like, okay, well, put me on the next availability. The next available date on their schedule, put us on it. I had to end up calling there, going off, my Lord, going off, saying, give me my money back before boom, I got, some action moving. She then said that we were going to be on the 20th. Still, because of her track record, I wasn't sure if we were really on the 20th. And it was then that I called and went completely off, demanded my money back. Within an hour, I had my confirmation that a truck would be here on the 20th to gather our things so that we can, head on out. Yay, wonderful. But I still had a bit of uneasiness. It's like, okay, she said the 20th. I have my confirmation in hand. Is this for real? Is this for real, for real? And so the 20th comes, and I have my movers here. I have some of my sisters here, and we are ready to go. And if that truck came, one of you came. And we were like, what the? I reach out and I suddenly get some email. Oops, no truck. There's actually no container available. I'm like, but if I'm confirmed, how is that possible? So I'm understanding or accepting that I do not know the ins and outs of shipping. When I was working in the legal field, I would train people, I would always try and remind them that, now remember, people who are calling you do not understand law. They only know what they see on television, and they think that's real. So you keep that in mind. So I was trying to keep that in mind, that I don't understand shipping, but my problem is the lack of communication. It's like, you tell me up front what is going on. It's not as if I'm sending a barrel to a family member in Jamaica just for fun. I'm moving there. I need to know dates, hard dates. When is this going to happen? Do I need to pay more rent? Do I need to cancel my flights? Do I need to get another flight? What flight am I getting? How long am I paying rent? Am I paying for the full month? Are you going to get a truck here so that I can pay prorated rent? You actually have to relay this information to me. She just didn't seem to know that that's what she needed to do. I was like, is she new? That's another issue. Anywho, so, okay, no, the 20th didn't happen. The truck will be there tomorrow. Is that okay? The truck will be there tomorrow. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. So, okay, fine. All right, whatever. All's forgiven as long as the truck will be here tomorrow. No truck. No truck came on the 21st. I was so done. I was so confused. I was calling everyone. I'm like, let me talk to the trucker. Let me talk to this. I don't understand. And then they were like, well, there were no containers available. I'm like, one, I don't get that, because you told me that I was reserved for a container. So what the hey? And then I speak with her manager, and he's saying, well, it's actually on a first come, first served basis. When the truckers get to the yard, any truckers getting there, they just grab whatever container is available. I'm like, that doesn't ring true to me. Now, again, I understand that I don't know the shipping business, but that doesn't ring true to me, because truckers are dealing with not just individuals and not just residential stuff, but commercial. You mean to tell me that if you have some business, some company, some grocery store, right? That may be a different type of container, who is expecting items to come to their store, you're going to tell me that at the last minute they're going to say, no, sorry, no. I don't know. I don't know. And that may have been a bad analogy, but you can understand. I'm completely frustrated. And as it turns out, he was wrong. He was wrong. And he's been doing this for 20 years. Whatever. I'm like, at least be honest with me. Be completely honest and open with me. Let me know what the darn deal is. So I tell you what, by the 21st, I was literally in the bed in a fetal position. I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm like, I can't go back to my apartment and say, hey, they've already worked with me. Hey, I need to stay here longer. I need to know when do I need to change my flight again? I mean, I need to know this stuff up front. Long story short, how many times have I said that? Anyway, the trucker calls me early in the, actually I called him. I said, truckers get up early, so it's like 6 o'clock. I'm calling this trucker because I got the names of the trucker, I got the names of all of the little different steps of people that it takes to get this whole ball to rolling. Because like the shipping company, they just handle the logistics. They sort of put everything together. They're not, they don't own trucks and containers and vessels. That they don't own. They just sort of put it all together. And but I'm like, I had everybody's number, so I called the trucker early in the morning. I had been calling him a lot too. No response. Nobody was responsive, and that was freaking driving me nuts. And he actually called me back within a few minutes and said, "Hey, we actually have a truck, a container available. If you want to do this morning." I'm like, heck yeah, bruh. You don't even have to say. You don't even have to ask me. Yes, I want to do this. So check this out. That's our container. Ooh, that job is small, but that's our 20-foot container. Oh my God. It's here. It's here. The container is here. I'm somewhat relaxed. Oz is happy. I'm so happy. Yeah, so as you can see, that the container was there downstairs, coming into our parking area. And thankfully, we're in the building that I live in has a nice space for us to load and unload and all that jazz. Big enough for a container. And that was another issue. You all, this is the, oh my God. So got the container here. We were ecstatic. We got a crew together really fast. And because, I mean, that was another thing. It was like, I was going to hire professional movers or whatever. You can't have them on hold, on call. That job would be bloody expensive. So we ended up meeting this brother whose sister lives in this building, and he was helping us out with the move, and he was able to get some people to get a crew together real fast. And yeah, we got it done. We got it done. But you know, I will say this, and I say this again. You'll see in a little video. I think I'll put some little videos up that I took as we were loading stuff, or you know, what else things were being loaded. Don't do this. Seriously, don't do this. I just wouldn't. I would not recommend this. We did this. Went through all of the hassle of getting our returning resident status, or Raymond's returning resident status, because we wanted the duty-free stuff. We wanted to be able to bring in stuff duty-free. You know that when you're purchasing almost anything in Jamaica that's not made in Jamaica, or that's anything that's shipped in, be it food or furniture, if it's not from the island, it is astronomically high, unnecessarily. One, it has to be shipped or flown in. So, you know, and two, you know, the business owner, they need to make their money. Of course they do, you know. And so it's taxed like crazy. It costs so much. We were watching this other brother's video. He was in a grocery store. I don't remember the grocery store that he was in there in Jamaica. He was just looking at showing all the prices of stuff. It was unbelievable. It was like, dude, who's going to a grocery store in Jamaica? We would not be doing that. So you can imagine what furniture would cost. And then we have kind of eclectic taste. Everybody does, you know. You like what you like. So we wanted to go ahead and get things that we wanted. And that we thought that we were either not find in Jamaica, or that if we found something like it, or something that we could work with or wanted to work with, it would be very, very costly, because it's just not, you know, it's just not readily available there. So it's going to cost more. And if we can bring some things in duty free, why not? So that's the reason why we went through the hassle that it took to get provisional returning resident status. That's why so that we can ship all this stuff in. Had we known that this part of it was going to be this crazy, we would not have done this. And then we also overbought. We were like, oh, we got some things on Facebook Marketplace. I don't have any problem saying that. It's beautiful stuff. I mean, don't sleep on Facebook Marketplace. I personally am not on Facebook, but we got on there. My husband got on there just so that he could connect with some repatriates going back to Jamaica. You know, nice group there, and that's how we learned about Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook for years. I don't even know really how it operates. I may get a Facebook page later, but at any rate, that's how we found out about Facebook Marketplace. We was able to get some things that way. So we were like, oh, this is beautiful pieces. This didn't cost that much. We would have spent way thousands in some case, thousands of dollars more if we had bought that stuff ourselves at a store here. And imagine what it would cost if we had tried to purchase that in Jamaica. So that's why we did this. But had we known it was going to be this difficult, had we known it was going to be this much of a hassle, a headache, costly, and then not just financially, I mean physically, mentally, emotionally, we wouldn't have done this. We would not have done this. If you are a Jamaican national, don't do this, just go home. You don't need returning resident status. You really don't. Again, this is only done if you want to ship some things in duty free. If there are some things that you have that you want in Jamaica, you're gonna move, and you can't live without those things. Take a picture of it and learn to live without it. This isn't worth the headache. Again, I know we're going to be pleased when this is all over, but we still have to deal with the wharf. We still have to then get our things to our temporary home. We then have to get our things to our home after it's built. I don't know. Maybe in the long run, maybe some years from now, we will feel like it was worth it. But right now, we would have not have done this, and if we would have done this, we would not have brought in so much stuff. Anyway, I would really caution you to really consider not doing this. Don't ship a container in, particularly right now. They are scarce, the containers, because of the pandemic. Truckers are scarce. Now that things are opening up, I mean, there are plenty of truckers, but they're not necessarily plenty of containers. One of the issues, I'll go back, one of the issues that we were having when I was dealing with iContainer, and I was talking with the manager, and he was confused as to why they couldn't bring me. The trucker was saying that he couldn't come there with the truck, is because he was saying he called the yard, and they were telling him, are you kidding me? There are 62 20-foot containers here. Well, turns out that's not really how it goes. There very well may have been 62 20-foot containers in that particular yard, but they were not ready to be shipped out. You opened them up. I spoke with the trucker and the manager who was dealing with handling all of the truckers. He said there were holes in them. They weren't sea ready or rail ready. They were none of that. And then on top of that, the guy was dealing with their iContainer, assumed that if there are containers there, you can just grab one. No. You have to grab a container that is part of your carrier. So just because the yard has tons of containers, those containers belong to certain carriers. They're not up for grabs for anybody, for any trucker to grab, or for any of their customers or clients. That's not how it works. And it was quite unsettling that he, who's been in the shipping business for 20 years, did not know that. I'm like, bruh, I mean, didn't the trucker tell you that when they kept explaining to you that there were no containers available, and you're saying, but I spoke with the yard and they said that there are 62 available? Didn't he not explain to you why those 62 containers were not worth grabbing? Because one, they were not part of your carrier, and two, they were not okay. And if he did relay that information to you, why couldn't he relay that information to me? At least keep me informed. That was a problem that I had. And I guarantee if whomever does this, they're going to have the same kind of issues, because people just do not know how to communicate. They just don't know how to communicate their issues. I just, I'm so happy that we're at this point, that we have, jumped this hurdle. But I still would implore you, don't do this. Do not do this. Ship some barrels if you want. And if you absolutely positively must ship a container, see if you can get a shared container. If you absolutely positively must bring certain things in, wait until this pandemic thing is way over. You're probably going to have to wait a few years. I'm serious, because the pandemic is sort of over, isn't it? Not quite, but you know what I mean. We're coming out of it, and this is the issues that we're having. This ripple effect is going to take a while for us to have some calm waters, things to get back to normal, so to speak. So I don't know, people, I would implore you, don't do this. Don't do this if you can. Get what you can in Jamaica. Get some artisans to make you some beautiful furniture, beautiful pieces, or go ahead and go to some stores and get that, and go ahead and pay those duties. Go ahead, well, if it's duties in a sense, go ahead and pay for that. But it's not worth the headache. It's not worth the heartache. It's not worth the stress level. Your girl was in a fetal position. I couldn't move. One of my sisters was like, "Wow, you're really calm." I'm like, "I'm numb." Because number one, this is all out of my control. So I just, I'm going to stop this right now, in this right now, because I've been talking long enough. But I just wanted to give you an update as to where we are. We are on our way. When we do get to Jamaica, I will hit you all up again, let you know how that part went. I still have to get to the wharf. I still have to deal with my citizenship status. I have to get my permanent resident status and stamp and all that jazz. And Raymond has to finalize his returning resident status, so that when we get to the wharf, we can show that he's a returning resident. These duties are waived on not every single solitary thing, but many items. So I'll let you know where we are then. Thank you so much, so very much, for spending part of your day with me. I really appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, and share. And as I always say, love, joy, and health to you. Until we meet again, stay conscious and stay connected. Peace.